guys. Thanks for coming. Coach is emotionally spent, and he's asked me to sub in for him, so I'll take any questions you have. Tony, good to see you again.
Great to see you, brother.
Went to journalism and broadcast school.
Not so loud.
Was that?
Not so loud. It's been a minute.
So we learned a lot from last week. Even in defeat, there can be a victory if you apply yourself. And we're just go back to the grind. We studied the film, we broke it down. We're back to film, regular film. We're not using video anymore, just taking it old school. So you got to thread the projector back in the day. Any questions? I'd like to announce a couple new NILs. I don't know.
I want to hear this.
They're in development. They're in development. No, truly great to be back. Love the success, and it was pretty cool watching practice. They got great energy, and making all us old guys pretty proud. Thanks for your time.
There were moments of that game that we had opportunities to win and play winning football. We weren't able enough, I was not able enough to get them in position to go make enough plays down the stretch to beat a really good team. And I think Fresno is a good team. Their record is what it is for a reason. They're well coached. I think we're a good team. And I think that we had opportunities and we came up short. So I said it from the day we started, really into practice situations. We're not going to be good enough to turn the ball over 4 times against a good team and walk away with a win. And we don't need to run from that. We need to run to it, because that's embrace who we are. Understand our margin of error is very, very slim. And if we turn the ball over 4 times, we better get it back 4 times. We didn't the other night. We were -2 on the turnover margin. We knew that was so important going into the game. Fresno was going into the game both top 10 nationally in turnover margin, and both at +9. They won that area. They made more plays down the stretch, and we didn't capitalize in opportunities that we had. So, you hate it when you have a chance to win a game on the road against a good opponent. You come up short, but also we understand what we've got to do to get back into the winner's circle. And our guys are hungry to get that done. They understand that the opportunities that are in front of them, and it will begin and started with our first meeting this morning. And then the preparation side, I know you guys are tired of me saying that, but it's the habits and how we prepare. And then the energy, the emotion, and we challenged each other this morning. There's going to be a point that you wake up and the opportunities are gone. So we don't waste one single minute on looking back. We're full steam ahead on trying to find a way to go win another conference game on the road and continue our season to achieve the things that this team has set out to do.
Coach, can you talk about the evolution of incorporating the tight ends into the offense, into the passing game? The last 3 weeks, I think it's 11 catches by the tight end position.
I think that offensively we continue to build our offense from week to week, and we try to find advantages for our kids, advantages schematically, and one of those is being able to incorporate the tight end. That's shown up, like you mentioned, the last 3 weeks. We need it to be more. They're big targets. They can run. They're good in blocking at the point of attack. All three. We think with those 3 tight ends, we've got a skill set on what they can do to bring another element to our offense, and it's starting to show up. That 4th down and 6, the throw and then the catch by KB was such a huge play. Now, he placed it in between 2 defenders, great body position and control to be able to come with the ball, and then he was able to keep it up off the ground to give us a chance to have a chance to go win the game. They just keep making plays, and that's going to we have to have that in our favor because they do give us an advantage. They all 3 can run, they're good size, and we can create some mismatches as we build the offense each week.
You mentioned the turnover margin. It's been a point in your favor most of the season. When you look at the 4 from Saturday, was there anything that you're concerned about going forward, or did you think they were mostly isolated, or what?
No, I think you always, it's hired to be nervous about a lot of things and worried about a number of things. So we've got to correct them. The one with Jet on the fumble, it was a reviewable play. They didn't have a camera angle well enough to overturn it, so it stayed a fumble. It doesn't matter. The ball, our goal is if we cross the end zone, you hand it to the official. After the play is over, we give it back to the official. And anytime we don't do that, then the ball is in conflict. And so we've got to finish the play there. Jaden had a throw that really, a couple of things on that. He threw it across his body. The play had extended beyond what normal time was. The receiver didn't come out of the break the way that he needed to. Their defender made a good play. That's an error. We've got to correct that. The last play of the game was zone blitz, and the defensive end did a nice job getting right in the throw lane. And then the error on special teams, he judged the ball off the foot, had a really good initial read off of it. And then the way the ball was fading, nose was up, was fading to the right. It got up on him too quick, and he wasn't able to make a play. He had it spotted. You could see pointing the ball, had it spotted. But the way when the ball hit, the way it bounced, he got too close to the ball to make a decision there. Red zone punt is the returner. That's a difficult spot. You're on the 10-yard line or 8-yard line, depending on the wind. Wherever we had him lined up the other night, he was at the 10. He's got to make a split-second decision. Do we make it? Do we let it bounce and then we're pinned inside the 10-yard line? And Jacob's made a million great decisions since he's been here. That was a bad decision. He'll learn from it, and I would suggest that he won't put us in that position again.
Coach, Doug Brumfield not on this trip. What's his status?
Yeah, every week we get a medical report on guys that are cleared for activity or not, and we had a number of guys that weren't able to make the trip because they weren't cleared medically, and that was the case for Doug going into last week's game.
Did you know what you had at the beginning as you broke camp? Like, if somebody had said, you can be 6-2, we'll guarantee it, just move, would you have taken that? Or did you have even greater expectations, or was it
Really,
mystery?
the expectation was let's start 1-0. And then I wanted to be able to see the team make progress from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Would that result in wins? I don't know about that. We wanted to make progress every week. As a competitor, you want to win them all. I've never in my coaching career have ever sit down at the schedule at the beginning of the year and said, well, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win. Then you shortchange your team. And so I learned a long time ago to focus on let's try to go win each week, be 1-0 that week. And it's worked well for this team. And I think still we look at the pursuit of playing our best ball. We haven't done it yet. So hopefully in all 3 phases, we can piece a game together that we're doing that. If we do that, we're going to be hard to beat.
You guys are right in the standings for the conference title game at this point with 4 games left. And you play some of these teams coming up that are also in the mix. What do you think is going to be the difference over this final third of the season?
Isn't it awesome? We're getting into November, and we're in the hunt for the conference championship. And we've got exactly up to this point what we've earned. And then if we want it, it's there to go take. It feels like everybody that is in the hunt plays everybody here the next 4 weeks. And, if you can prepare the right way and then go execute and perform at your best and highest level, then you'll have an opportunity. And we talked this morning to the team, those that win in November will be remembered. And that saying's been around a long time, but it is so true for us. And, it's when we started in August talking about making progress each week. Said if we do that, we'll get into the month of November and we'll have a chance to be in the conversation to win a championship. And that's right where we are. It will take terrific preparation. It will take a great game plan by our staff on being able to put together each week. It's also going to take every person that we have healthy doing their job, because they're going to be a play away from playing meaningful snaps. Some guys that we didn't anticipate at this point in the season being even in the game are now moving into roles that they're either a starter or in a role that they're playing a lot of snaps. So there's a number of factors that go into it. But teams that are able to run the football teams that are able to stop the run and eliminate explosive plays, win the turnover margin, good efficiency on third downs, and in the red zone, then you're talking in the conversation of playing for a conference championship.
Coach, at the end of the game, the embrace with Seneca McKee, it appeared on television, like you said, keep your head up, keep your head up. Can you share, what was said to him?
Well, I think we look at relationships that are built with coach and player, and it should be built on love and trust and honesty. And if you do those things when moments like that in despair or moments of celebration, it's true and it's authentic, and at that point it was very personal. And he is such a tremendous competitor and a great leader and a great representative of our university. He had a bad play, and we've all been in those that have been in the arena and have had bad plays. Some are searching for words of encouragement, and I thought at that moment he probably needed a word, and he was embraced by our team. He'll bounce back, and my suggestion is over the next 4 weeks and whatever we've got left after that, he'll make big-time plays for us.
What's Jonathan Baldwin's status after he left with what looked like a lower leg injury?
Yeah, he didn't practice today. We'll get a full medical report. He had a couple more visits today with medical personnel, and we'll know later today on his status for this week. He did not practice today.
Is there anything new on Dre?
No, he's got another appointment tomorrow, I believe, and that will update. Hopefully we can get him in some drills tomorrow if that appointment goes well, and we feel like he's ahead of schedule at this point.
Is Jonathan's a lower leg, or is it a knee? Is there a specific area of injury?
It would be knee to shin to ankle to foot. Lower leg area.
What has Cameron Jenkins done to earn time?
Yeah, I think, it was beneficial for him being a high school grad that came in early. So he was able to go through our winter conditioning program, went through spring practice, fall camp, and then now earned his way through some special teams work, and then in spot duty defensive calls. And every time he's exceeded what we thought maybe we were going to get from his position as a freshman, and continues to thrive. So he's played well. We need him to play really, really well, and he's learning every day. There'll be things that show up, and I think it's starting to slow down for him a little bit because of game day reps, and I look for him again. So important for him to play well at that spot. That spot for us, schematically, it's really important. They all are, but there's a number of people counting on him to be right.
You got hit by a couple of deep shots, one for a touchdown. What happened on those? And then beyond that, it was actually pretty solid. Ricky Johnson's really bounced back, and
Yeah,
Cam Oliver had another good game.
Explosive plays. We had one. We were an all-out cover zero blitz. Moten got turned around there early in the game, and ended up losing the receiver. And then on the other, it was a breakdown between the corner and the safety to that side on how far we were going to carry him when we were overlapping. So the combo coverage that we had built into that, we failed to execute the call. And I always look back at that. Okay, did that show up during the week? Coaching-wise, did we miss it? Why was there confusion? Because at that point, with that call, we've got to take blame too as coaches, because obviously we didn't have them ready to, in that situation, to be able to continue to make the play. So, it's pointed back at me, and we'll continue to work to get those corrected. But if we take those, the number has reduced greatly, and we've got to continue to cut that. If we can cut that in half, we'll be down to one, and then you're playing winning football.
How did Ricky get his confidence back? And like I said, Cam Oliver's been
Yeah, I
pretty
think
good.
just they are competitors, and they've got really good physical skill sets. I think they continue to improve. I don't know what has gotten his. They've both played. I think winning football the last couple of weeks, which is exciting to see, and we need them to. They're good players, and I thought the defense overall the other night were put in some adverse situations and ended up responding in positive ways and kept us in the game. So that was a focal point that I don't want to diminish, but also and when we lose, we lose. So we got to continue to make gains, and we will on that side. They're playing faster, which is fun to see.
Coach, we talk about the buzz in the city, the buzz around your program. What was it like to have Kenny at practice today?
It was great. I mean, he kept trying to jump in 7-on-7 and throw the ball around, so kept him off the field. I didn't want him to hurt any of our good players, so we kept him back. But it's great. I mean, you got a number of guys that care about the program, and he had an opportunity. He's in the city for some meetings and wanted to stop by, and that means a great deal to me and to our kids. Pointed him out after practice, and I think there's some guys that took pride in him being here, and that's awesome.
I think Cam Oliver has like 2 sacks this year, and they're both in the red zone, kind of decleating quarterbacks. What do you like about him as a blitzer in those DB blitzes?
I think he's got speed, and he understands when your number's called, it's called for a reason. We feel good about, it possibly being there, and he's taking advantage of that. And some guys are really good blitzers, and some, the speed isn't quite there of full confidence in doing it. That's not him. He's going to go. You call it, and he's going to be disruptive. It's been 2 big plays for us, for sure.
Have you always put such an emphasis on special teams in practice? Like, no offense to my coaching staff, but I feel like in the old days, guys who weren't regular, all right, you're on special teams, go over there on field B and work it out. You guys make it a principal part of what you're doing.
We've established that as one of the foundational parts of our program is we're going to be really good on special teams. We have to be. That's got to be an X factor for us. I think we've got a terrific special teams coordinator in James Shebist. Every week we feel like we've got a winning game plan to give us yardage differential wins, average starting position, return game. If we can get a first down for our offense without them being on the field, then that's so huge. Defensively, if we can flip the field and do the things coverage-wise we need to, it over the test of time, special teams is always, it travels with you, home games, away games, neutral site games. And if you can have a really, really solid special teams group, then you're going to have a chance to win more games than not.
What do you think of your run blocking throughout the game? It seemed to loosen up in the fourth quarter especially, but what about early on?
Yeah, I think it was tough early, and they're really good up front, in my opinion. And I think we've got a good offensive line. So there were some battles there. We won some, they won some. But as the game went, we were able to get some more things going because of some outside, looser plays outside that loosened the box up a little bit, which we needed. Get the extra hat in conflict on the RPO world. And, if we stayed the course, which we did, we were able to end up running the ball effectively enough to give us a chance to win.
You mentioned that when Cam plays safety, there's a lot of people counting on him to be in the right spot. What are you kind of expecting of that box safety role, and what has Jonathan done so well for you?
Yeah, they've got to be really good against the run. A lot of times they're the extra defender. A number of times they're the perimeter edge of the defense. They've got to be a post player that overlaps everything. They've got to be a man-to-man guy. You got to be a cover 2 safety. And then there's a match concept in our quarters coverage. So every capacity of what we're looking for in a defensive back, that position has to do it. So, and it could be different versus 12 personnel and 10 personnel. Your job changes every single snap. So that's a lot on a freshman. But again, I've said a long time ago, we take the age off of it. It doesn't matter. He's our guy. We got to get him ready to go play. Awesome. Hope y'all have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Cam, besides a win next week, what do you kind of want to see from this group in response to last week's game?
Just going out there showing resiliency, just coming out there putting our best foot forward and playing our best ball of the game. I just like to see a lot of resiliency coming out of our guys, putting our best foot forward and, going out there and showing the world that we are our best brand of football.
Cam, what'd you see on the interception?
They ran that play a couple times in the game before. I mean, not in the game before, earlier in the game. And some of my teammates on the sideline told me that if I see that same back motion away, then that slant is coming. So I just read my keys and trusted my technique.
For Ricky, when there was one route you ran late in the game trying to get a touchdown, I think it was a 4th down. Thought the coverage was a little tight, like very tight in terms of a jersey grab. There was also a play where I thought you got face guarded out of bounds. So how do you kind of deal with that as the game's going on when maybe you earned a PI, you don't get it?
Man, at that point, I can't put the game in the ref's hands. So really, it was disappointing at that time of the game. But I feel like I got to play through it.
Ricky, what did you say to your teammate Seneca after the game?
Man, that's like my brother. Like, we super locked in. Like, so for me, it was just more of a, just uplifting him. I don't want him to, come out today just like we had practice or yesterday where we had to be in the building for just getting our bodies right, recovery, and make sure he in great spirits. He's a great player. Anybody in this building know he can catch that ball in his sleep. So, I just want him to make sure, he's good and, that we need him for the rest of the season, basically.
What was the mentality this morning in practice, just coming back from the loss?
I would most definitely say it was great focus from everybody on the offense and defensive side. So, we just want to make sure that we come together as a team and just keep stacking.
Do you feel like that was your best performance with Jaden this season?
I'm not really sure. I couldn't say that. I feel like we done had other games where we clicked as a whole, and then so.
Cam, you guys are already down Jure. JV might be questionable this week. What do you kind of do as a secondary when you're missing 2 key players like that?
We just regroup, calibrate, next guy up mentality. So I believe that all my guys in the DB room for whoever's next up, that they're going to come in and, if not, do better, but do what is expected for them at their position. So I have great confidence in my guys, and, we're ready for this challenge we have.
Cam, can you talk about the 4th quarter? I know Barry Odom was telling me that all the momentum was on Fresno's side. Can you talk about the 4th quarter and locking in?
Yeah, momentum, anytime you go away in a hostile environment like that, it's going to be the whole stadium versus the 70, 75 guys we brought. So, we were just locked in, ready to finish, focus on finishing and doing our job. And the 4th quarter is when we need it the most, so making sure that every detail was correct.
What's impressed you the most about Cameron Jenkins this year?
Man, he's young, he going out there, he's playing freely. Some guys go out there and play timid, but he goes out there and next snap mentality, he's playing, he's learning the defense well as we go on, just making sure that he knows that he has a lot of vet guys around him, so he can just go out there and play free and we'll clean up his mistakes.
Cam, can you talk about Jackson Turner and his contributions to the team and his knack of coming up to the football 4 interceptions?
Yeah, Jax he's a great competitor. We call ourselves Jack Boys, and he's been taking a lot of picks away. So he's been a great addition, a great leader as well. He's very vocal, and he's just been doing a great job.
For both of you, what are the messages to your teammates that you're sending, to keep your mentality locked in and just really get right for New Mexico?
Basically for us, we just want to win out these couple games that we got to end the season strong. As a team, we still feel like we the best in this conference. So like I said, we just go keep going out to practice, showcasing and building chemistry with each other, going strong at practice, making sure when it's game time that we produce and show up.
Yeah, like he said, to build off what Rick said, just making sure that everybody knows that everything we want is still in front of us and still more achievable. Right now, just making sure that everybody's locked in and focused on the bigger picture and just taking it one rep at a time, one day at a time.
Ricky, I talked a lot with Coach Odom last night about this being a family, this team being a family. How do you feel like you're a son to Barry Odom?
I definitely feel that chemistry with Coach. When first day he came in, we had a conversation. It was very deep. He made sure that I was good on even outside of playing football. So that was a great experience for me having that head coach. That I know that's there from not only me, but, you know, the other players on this team.
Both of you guys were here last year before Barry Odom came in. I guess when you look back on your first conversation with him to where you guys are now, do you feel like he's fulfilled on the promises that he made to you guys then?
Yeah, you know, he came in and promised us a lot, and I feel like him coming from like coming from the South, it feels like kind of like I got a lot of the same coaching and same mentality from the South that he's bringing. So I like what he's doing.
Yeah, I can agree. I'm sorry.
See you tomorrow. We good? Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you all.